Hey everyone, Sean here, and today what I want to talk to you about is something I refer to as incomplete automation. Now, the story that I'm going to share is from a pizza that I attempted to order over the past weekend and how that experience went sideways relatively quickly and to my surprise. So, I ordered a pizza from the convenience of the home. I did so via an app, put all my information in there, ordered exactly what I wanted, just a pizza, put the address in there, and ordered it from a place that I've ordered from before, that everything went relatively smoothly. Clicked complete my order, and then everything was off and running. And that was pretty much it from everything I had to do, which was great. It was super convenient. Now it's going to take a while, but I was expecting that. But over an hour had gone by, a longer amount of time than I was expecting to ultimately receive it, and started to get worried that it may not arrive. So, however, shortly thereafter, I got a phone call, and it was from the delivery driver. When I answered the call, what the delivery driver told me was that he couldn't find our address, said that it wasn't in the GPS. I'm like, that's weird. So asking a few more questions, I asked him, what address did you have? And turns out that he had the wrong address. Now the number was what was wrong in terms of the information that he had, but he did have the right street name. So luckily enough, he was relatively close by, and I was able to kind of direct him to how to get to the right address. So once we had figured that out, we were able to kind of complete the delivery, but it was late. The product was kind of a mess. And when the delivery driver showed up, kind of blamed me for that problem. So the whole thing was a pretty poor experience, at least from my perspective, the customer, the client's perspective. But this made me wonder, where had this process gone sideways? So I did take a look at the ticket that was on the pizza box. The piece of paper kind of looks like a receipt that has the information on it, and it did in fact have the incorrect number for the address printed on the ticket. So delivery driver at least was telling the truth about that. So I can't necessarily blame the delivery driver for that. So I started to wonder, well, maybe I had entered the address incorrectly. So I went back into the app to take a look because it's all done pretty much automatically, or at least I had assumed so from part of the experience that I was involved with. And I took a look, and it turned out that I had entered the address correctly. So I put the information in there correctly. Something after that step had gone wrong. So now I was trying to figure out, well, how could that possibly have gone sideways? And what I ultimately came to the conclusion of, which was probably the most likely probability here, was that someone had taken the address information that I had entered seemingly automatically from this app that was, again, all automated. And they had taken it and they'd either typed it or they'd written it manually somewhere else, probably into another system. And then in the process of having done that, they entered the information incorrectly. So that's likely where it went sideways and then caused all of these problems. Now, the reason why I'm telling you this story is because I see this all the time at different firms where they automate only a portion of the process, but they violate other principles in terms of they get away from a lot of the value that they had started to build towards by automating many of the steps, by introducing manual steps back into the process, subtracting a lot of the value away and creating problems and the kind of chaos like this example that I gave you, which is relatively simple, but caused a fair number of problems. So if you're in a situation like this, you need to understand that you need to have your systems to be able to talk to each other all the way throughout your process from start to end. And if a portion of it is automated, you should do your best to automate as much or all of it as you can, because if you're introducing any of these manual steps, you're going to create problems like this. And it's going to really subtract significantly away from the value that you're supposed to be getting by investing into something like this. So now, if you need help with figuring out how to do this, it's relatively straightforward and it's easier than ever because there's a lot of systems out there that'll enable you to talk from one completely different system to another completely different system, like Zapier and Integromat and tools like this. So, if you need any help with this process, please let me know what questions you might have for me. You can reach me on my website at nextstep.io, or you can email me directly at sean@nextstep.io. And I want to thank you for engaging my content. I hope that you found it valuable.